The Hunger Games, a girl with a bow solves government corruption by shooting teenagers on live TV. Divergent, in a world where personality quizzes determine your fate, the one girl who fails all of them somehow saves the day. The Maze Runner, a group of boys runs through a giant, deadly IKEA maze to find out the real enemy is their bad memory. The Giver, in a society where no one has emotions or color, one kid ruins it for everyone by bringing back feelings and rainbows. To all the boys I've loved before. A girl's secret love letters get leaked, but hey, it's totally fine because she ends up with the hottest guy in school. City of Bones. Girl discovers she's part of a magical world where the drama is more intense than her confusing feelings for her brother-ish crush. The Selection. It's like The Bachelor but with royalty, and only one girl cares more about politics than fancy dresses and kissing the prince. Paper Towns. A guy spends his entire high school life chasing a girl who never really liked him, but it's deep because road trips. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. An awkward teen writes letters to no one while navigating high school, first love, and that one life-changing mixtape. Shatter Main. Girl's touch is lethal, but the real danger is the number of shirtless love interests she has to choose from. Six of Crows. A gang of teenage criminals attempt the most impossible heist ever, but mostly just spend their time roasting each other and brooding in the snow. Legend. In a dystopian future, a teenage genius takes down an entire military regime with nothing but a bad attitude and a crush on her enemy. Cinder. In the future, Cinderella is a cyborg mechanic who falls for a prince while also trying to not get killed by her evil space stepmother. Children of Blood and Bone. A girl must bring magic back to her people, but mostly she just tries not to punch the guy she's stuck on the quest with. Throne of Glass. An assassin with zero assassin skills spends most of her time at royal parties while avoiding the actual plot. The Hate You Give. A girl juggles between two worlds, her rich prep school and her poor neighborhood, while educating everyone about racial injustice, mostly through speeches. An Ember in the Ashes. A girl pretends to be a slave to save her brother, but somehow ends up in a love triangle with two soldiers who can't stop brooding. The Sun is also a star. Two teens meet, fall in love in 24 hours, and ignore immigration problems, parental expectations, and, common sense. We Were Liars. A rich girl with memory problems slowly realizes her family is terrible, but hey, at least there's a surprise twist at the end. Caraval. A girl enters a magical game where nothing is real except her habit of making the worst decisions possible. The Cruel Prince. A mortal girl tries to survive in a world of backstabbing fairies, but ends up falling for the worst one of them all. They both die at the end. Two teens who know they'll die by midnight spend their last day together making deep conversations and questionable life choices. Turtles All the Way Down. A girl with OCD tries to solve a mystery, but mostly gets distracted by her spiraling thoughts and the guy she kinda likes. Scyther. In a future where people can only die if professional Grim Reapers say so, two teens are forced to compete in the world's most dramatic internship. The Outsiders. A group of greaser boys prove that the real tragedy in life is never getting enough hair grease, while occasionally rumbling with rich kids. One of Us Is Lying. 5 teens walk into detention, but only 4 walk out, because high school drama has now escalated to murder mystery levels. The Golden Compass. A girl and her talking animal sidekick take on evil scientists who steal children's souls, while everyone pretends to understand quantum physics. Warcross. A teenage hacker accidentally becomes a superstar in a virtual game, proving that even dystopian futures have time for esports. The Fifth Wave. After an alien apocalypse, a girl searches for her brother while trying to figure out if the cute boy helping her is human or alien. The Book Thief. A girl in Nazi Germany loves books, but the story is mostly told by Death, who's just as emo as you'd expect. The Wicked King. The only thing more dangerous than fairy politics is the intense sexual tension between the mortal girl and the fairy king who loves to torment her. Renegades. In a world where superheroes rule, one girl joins the bad guys because why be good when you can have a dark, brooding love interest instead? The Infernal Devices. A girl time travels to Victorian London, where she can't decide between a brooding poet and a snarky warrior, so she just keeps both. The Bone Season. In a dystopian world run by aliens, a clairvoyant girl gets imprisoned, falls in love with her captor, and then something about fighting ghosts. Legendborn. A girl joins a secret magical society and discovers she's descended from King Arthur, because apparently every teenager is secretly royalty or chosen one material. The Darkest Minds. After a disease wipes out most kids, the survivors get superpowers, but instead of saving the world, they spend most of their time running from the government. Firekeeper's Daughter. A girl with a foot in 2 worlds becomes a secret FBI informant. But the most surprising thing is how long it takes the FBI to realize she's the only one doing their job. Wicked Saints. A girl who talks to gods and a guy who talks to demons have to work together to stop a war, but mostly they just glare at each other in magical angst. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. A young President Snow gets a villain origin story that somehow makes him even less likable than he already was. The Iron King. A girl finds out she's the daughter of a mythical fairy king, but her real problem is deciding between the bad boy and the slightly less bad boy. Kingdom of the Wicked. A witch teams up with a prince of hell to find her sister's killer, but spends most of her time resisting the urge to fall for the literal devil. Eliza and her monsters. An introverted girl famous for writing webcomics meets her biggest fan, which goes exactly as awkwardly as you'd expect. This savage song. In a world where monsters are born from human violence, a girl and a monster team up to make everything worse. The Knife of Never Letting Go. A boy in a town where everyone can hear each other's thoughts goes on the run, but honestly, why didn't he run away sooner? The Diviners. A girl with supernatural abilities solves murders in 1920s New York, but the only thing scarier than the ghosts is the amount of jazz slang thrown around. Genuine fraud. A girl lies her way into the perfect life by pretending to be someone she's not. Because who needs therapy when you can just steal someone's identity? The Fandom. A group of fangirls gets transported into their favorite book, but soon learn that being in a dystopia is way less fun when you actually have to survive it. Red Queen. Poor girl finds out she's special because she bleeds differently, and obviously this means she should overthrow the government. Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda. A closeted teen gets blackmailed into romance, but it's all okay because the ending is sugary sweet. The Night Circus. Two magicians in a magical circus try to outwit each other, but it's hard to concentrate on the competition when everything looks so pretty. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. A boy discovers a house full of kids with freaky powers, but mostly just gets stuck time traveling to the same boring day over and over again. Serpentine. A witch and a witch hunter are forced to marry. And if you've ever wanted to see a love-hate relationship taken to new, steamy levels, this one's for you. Gracier. In a creepy village where girls are exiled for a year to purge their magic, one girl decides to survive by being better at Hunger Games than everyone else. Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. Two boys form a deep friendship that may or may not be love, while discovering the true meaning of life and staring at the stars a lot. Ash Princess. A princess turned prisoner rises up against the evil regime that took over her kingdom, but only after a predictable love triangle develops.